Hi, I'm Arjun and I'm in 10th grade and I built a Wi-Fi thermostat. I made it with an Arduino and an Arduino Wi-Fi shield and some other parts. Like right here. So I'm going to power it on now, and what it basically does is this light right here, I'd replace all the wires to actually connect them into your house, but for now I connect it to the lights so I can test it myself. And also right here would be the actual temperature sensor, which I have, but I plugged in this so I could test it by changing the temperature myself rather than something else. So I'm powering it on now. And since I couldn't connect a screen to it, like an LCD screen, I have the interface on the computer. I have it connected through the USB, and it sends the UART. It's like the UART interface. So it just sends out a message. So right now it's connecting to the Wi-Fi in our house. And now you can see that it's connected to the Wi-Fi. And so basically let me explain how I built it, how it connects to our house. So to connect to our house we need relay switches because the voltage in our house is really high and the Arduino voltage will not handle that. So you use a relay switch so it separates the voltages. So basically everywhere where it says pin, that's where it's plugged into the Arduino, and ground Arduino is where it's the ground of the Arduino. And so this is called the heat and cool relay switch. So based on if the Arduino is giving voltage or not, it'll switch between connecting the heat or the cool to this wire. And then in order to actually turn on the heat or the cool system, you need to connect to the ground of the house. So it's called the HVAC system, the ground of that. So that'll complete the circuit for either the heating or the cooling system. So it connects like that, and that'll turn on the heating and cooling system. So this is called the power relay switch. And then here's the fan relay switch, which is separate. And this is also connected to the same HVAC system, but it's a separate relay switch, and so that's to turn on the fan. So the way this works is when this relay switch is on, so when it's connected from heat to this, a red LED will turn on over there, and when this is off, that means it'll connect the cool to this, and the red LED will turn off. Right here, this is the power one, so when this is on, it'll connect this to the ground, so one of these will end up connecting to the ground, and it'll complete the circuit, and a green LED will turn on. And when this is off, it'll just be blank here, nothing's connected here, so these will turn off, and then the green LED will turn off. And here we have the fan relay switch. This is supposed to say ground. And so when this is on, the fan will connect to the ground, and the blue LED will turn on, and when this is off, it'll connect like this, which there's nothing there, so the blue LED will turn off. Okay, so those are the colors you'll see right here. And so if you look on the screen, this is where it says the current mode that you're on, and this is where it says the current temperature. So if I press the up or down arrow on the system, if I press up, you'll see on the screen that I'm increasing the temperature. So this is the temperature I'm setting. So I'll increase it to like 86. And then it'll show the current temperature, which is 84. And then if I click the mode button on it, which is all the way to the right, if I press that, so I'll change it to heat, to the heat mode. So if you look right here, I'm switching to the heat mode. And when heat turns on, what happens is the red and the green LED are what turn on. Now on this LED, you can only see the red light, but because it doesn't show red and green for some reason, but if you watch me pull out the red LED, you'll notice that the green one is on. They just don't show together. So the red and green are on. It just doesn't show both of them. And so that's that. And now I'll show you how it is connected to the Wi-Fi. So if I hit reload here, this is the IP address. It shows this little interface that I wrote in HTML. And so, as you can see, it'll tell you the current mode, which is heat, tells you the current temperature, and tells you what temperature I set it to. So, say I want to turn it off again, I can just click off. And so it shuts it off. So if you look over here, the red LED turned off. And also the green LED turns off too. So if you pull that out, the green LED turns off. So that means it switched the heat and cool relay to cool, and then it changed the power relay to off. So it turns off the system. And then if I turn it to fan, for example, you can see I turned on the blue LED, and the blue LED, it's just the blue LED that turned on. So if I pull out this, you can see that there's no green light. So it's just the blue that turned on, and that means that's just the fan that turned on. So I can also just shut that off from here again. So with the mode button, turn it off. Now I'll show you the cooling. So if I decrease the temperature, down to what's the current temperature? 84. So I decrease the temperature to 80, right? And then I turn on the cooling system. If you look here, the blue and the green light turn on. That's because the fan is on and the power light is on. But if you notice, the red is off. So when the red is off, that means that the cooling system's on. So it's a little confusing, but that's the way I wired the relays. I meant the relays to wire. So now if you watch this, so since I plugged in a potentiometer rather than the actual temperature sensor, I can like modify the temperature myself. So if you watch on this, I actually can't see on the screen, but when I decrease the temperature down to like, I think 84 is the lowest I can decrease it to. Oh, okay. 84 is the lowest I can decrease it to right now. So I'll increase the temperature set up to 85. See, when I set it up to 85, the system turns off, because I want to cool it down to 85, but the temperature's already 84. So if I make it like 87, and then I turn on the heating system, you'll notice that the heating system turns on. There, and then if I increase the temperature all the way up, it'll eventually turn off. So it doesn't turn off instantly, because you don't want the system to just instantly keep turning on and off the heating system in our house, because that'll damage the system. So it has like a wait. So it's a pretty long wait. It's like a minute or so. But yeah, so that's going to turn off eventually. But what I want to show now is, I'll close this window because it usually cannot handle 2 users. But I'll show you how you can also connect from your phone to the same thing. So I type in the IP address and I hit go, and it loads up the same interface here, and I have the same options. So actually it did turn off, actually, because it leaves the red light is still on, because the heat cool relay it's still switched to heat, but the power relay is what turned off. So if I pull this out, you'll notice that the green light is not on anymore. The green light was on before, and that means that the power relay is off, so the whole thing is shut off anyway. But if you see, if I decrease the temperature again down to below 84 or 87, the temperature is down below that, and I'll pull this out, see, the green light turned on. So the green light's on, so the power's on, so that means it's running. And so you have these options here too. So I'll just shut it off now with this. So if I unplug this, see, it shuts off. It has that little wait, but it shuts off. So yeah. So a feature implementation of this would obviously be putting it in a box and making it like neater and nicer. Sometimes the Wi-Fi shield just is really shaky sometimes, so it gets disconnected and stuff like that. So somehow figuring out how to fix that. And another cool thing to do would be make an Android app that you would kind of work with the website, well, this like IP address, and it would be like a more GUI interface where there's buttons and things rather than these little links. And when you click those buttons, it would be like clicking one of these links. So it's more like user friendly than this type of interface. So it gets like the important information out. And same with, like, you can make the same app on the computer too. And so that's basically it.